And so it's kind of it's a really good thing to see that everybody's so interested and passionately involved. That being said, we're going to do, just for meeting flow, I said this a little bit ago, but we had people here. If you are here on a particular topic outside of the SSA and you'd like to speak to us, you're welcome to sign up to speak during the regular course of the meeting. There will be two opportunities for you to speak in general during the course of this meeting. One would be at the beginning of the meeting. I'm going to go there now, and you could speak about anything that you want to speak about, including the SSA, or you could hold your comments for the SSA and then sign up during the public hearing. Sign up to speak during the public hearing. During the public hearing, we have a presentation by Finance Director Lori Lyons that'll kind of set the stage and talk about the why and all this other stuff. And then we'll shift to public comment, and then the board will deliberate. Okay? So that's just kind of the order of business tonight.
And Mr. Mayor, while you're there, the meeting has started, so they cannot sign up any longer. But there are 4 people for the public hearing and nobody for the regular meeting.
Okay, good. All right. Well, I really appreciate that. And so with that, I will ask the clerk to call the roll to establish the board.
Mrs. Fodor? Present. Mr. Jernerbro? Present. Mr. Kelly? Absent. Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mrs. Palestrini? Is absent at this time. Mr. Robinson is absent.
Okay, with that, I will ask if you are able to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all. As Mr. Hedges said, there's no one to sign up during the regular meeting, sign up for public comment during the regular course of the meeting. So with that, before you are the meeting minutes from June 26, 2025. I want to thank the board for their understanding for my absence. And I want to thank Trustee Coe for leading the meeting. It was a last minute call that I couldn't make it. And I really appreciate your flexibility in that. With that, do we have any changes to the minutes as they are presented?
On page 3 of our packet, it's one of the minutes, the very last part, public comments. I'm assuming Village Cod is supposed to be covered.
We do have a village fish.
Oh,
You didn't know
I
that?
just wanted to make sure I hadn't missed it. Okay. This is Village, just making sure. Okay. That was all.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes with the removing of the village fish. So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call vote, please. I'm going to ask roll call vote for everything tonight because we have smaller board.
It's Mrs. Fodor?
Aye.
Jernerbro? Aye. Mr. Cole?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, next on, oh, I do need to vote. Do I need to vote because of this?
On the minutes,
Yes.
No.
Even though I make up the form?
you do not need to vote. You have a right to vote. You are do not obliged to vote, as this is not an ordinance or any type of approval that requires a supermajority vote under the Illinois Municipal Code.
Please jump in as necessary. We're not used to having this many absences. So
Understood.
thank you. All right, with that, I will entertain a motion to go into the public hearing for the purposes of a proposed expansion of SSA number 10, White Oaks.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Questions, comments? Roll call vote, please, Ms. Clerk.
Mrs. Jernerbro? Aye. Mr. Cole?
Aye.
Still not here. Mrs. Fodor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right. Just like that, we are in the public hearing. Thank you all for being in attendance tonight. Good evening, Ms. Lyons. You have a presentation. Now, granted, the room's not really set up good for this type of thing. So if you want to get up and move about the cabin so you can see the screen, please.
Just turn your chairs around if you'd like to.
Yeah, feel free to do so. You guys are welcome to do so. Ms. Lyons, good evening. Thank you for putting this together, and we're all ears.
All right, here. So first of all, just for a little background,
A special service area is a mechanism that can be used to fund a wide variety of special or additional services and or physical improvements within a defined geographic area within a municipality or jurisdiction. White Oak Ponds was established as designated by the Village of Hampshire in August of 2001 and is one of more than 30 special service areas within the village. This shows the map of the current special service area as well as the proposed. In green, you will see White Oak Ponds or White Oak Ponds subdivision. And then in blue, Highland Avenue and Hillcrest Avenue, as well as the homes on the, that face Warner that would be potentially included. And just so you know, SSA number 10 was designed to maintain and promote the proper stormwater considerations for White Oak Pond subdivision and includes 4 water detention facilities. They are numbered 10-1, 10-2, 10-3, and 10-4. White Oak Ponds has 180 parcels included in that. In that number, there are 8 exempt parcels, several of which belong to the Village of Hampshire itself, and 173 taxable residential parcels. The Board of Review value is $19,924,830, and the net taxable value, which is the rate setting EAV, is $18,401,564. The difference between the Board of Review value and the rate setting EAV would include those parcels that have owner exemptions, disabled veteran exemptions, senior exemptions, senior freezes, and those types of things that reduce the value down to that $18 million number. With respect to the proposed expansion, there are 69 parcels, 1 that is exempt from property tax and 68 taxable residential properties. The net taxable value or the rate setting EAV for those homes is $5,082,198. With the current statistics and using the 2024 levy that is being collected now, in 2025, the levy was $19,090. With the current EAV of the $18 million, the tax rate was 0.103742. With the addition of the proposed amounts, we would have $19,090 in the levy and an EAV of $23,483,762. Yielding a tax rate of 0.081290.
Is that with the 5 million?
That is with the 5 million, yes. So with the proposed expansion, the $5 million that's in the proposed expansion area and the tax rate, that generates $4,131. So those 68 properties will share or would have shared had they been in the levy for this year, $4,131.
Total.
Yes.
Not per home.
No. And that would be shared proportionally based on the EAV. So that's what I have for you this evening. The taxes would range anywhere from $25 to the least valued home in the proposed area, up to $88 for the home that has the highest EAV.
What is the average of the current people in it paying?
So you're talking about in the current area? I'm sorry, I don't have that number. So it was kind of interesting, in doing this project, we had to look up all 69 parcels individually. There was nobody in the county that was able, I was able to get the EAV for each of the parcels, but not the net taxable value. And so we had to go through the 69 parcels. We did not go through the 183.
Why were we told that in the, letter?
Sorry, public comments are made, where.
pardon me.
Sorry, it's not, we don't dictate this process. The state
Gotcha.
dictates about how the public hearing process has to go, so we'll be looser around the public comment part. All right,
It is important. I probably, since I overheard that, I will address that.
absolutely.
So the authorizing ordinance back in 2001 said that the maximum tax could be 80 cents per $100 of assessed valuation. And currently it's at 8 cents. We don't really expect to ever get up to that level. But this SSA does go into perpetuity. So, you know, today's value would be different than it was in 2001 and will be in.
For the sake of all the many years in the village, in the room here. Oh, yes.
I would like to say good evening or good night, like good afternoon to trustee Palestrini. And if we could reflect in the record that she is here tonight.
Join the public hearing this time. For the sake of the years in the village, you covered high level about why the SSA exists, but can we put that in regular terms? What's the purpose of the SSA and what does it do for the residents?
So this makes sure that the detention areas within the White Oak Pond subdivision are maintained properly. The village mows, we use herbicides to kill invasive plant species. We burn maybe every 4 years to make sure that things are, you know, brought down to a ground level, if you will. We've cleared brush in the area. So yeah, there's many things to make it look not aesthetically beautiful, but also functional for the stormwater purposes.
And so, as I understand it, so trustee Coates, you have to help me out with this.
Well, I was gonna ask a question, but
Go ahead.
at some point in time, when these ponds all get to the level where they're supposed to be, the maintenance on those, will any of this tax money drop? Because we won't need the big hit in the beginning to whip it back under control?
Certainly, we evaluate the cost of maintaining the facilities each and every single year. And we try to level it off so you don't get like a giant hit. So, you know, we will project what is needed over the course of time and then, you know, levy accordingly.
David's been maintaining those ponds now for about 5 years, so they're getting a lot better.
Oh,
So at the current time, there's 181 homes that pay for all of the maintenance of the ponds and all that benefit from the stormwater retention and flood mitigations and that kind of thing. And at some point, I forget exactly when, but there was some construction on that side of town that took the other homes in that area and connected them to White Oak Ponds. That was
in the year 2000,
in
sorry,
No.
2020.
2020, there was a bunch of sewer work. So, and at the time, the village board opted not to include the homes
It wasn't.
because it wasn't fully understood that it was 69 homes that were impacted. Is that the case or?
The village board, did you sign up to speak?
Yes.
Did you like to acknowledge the public speakers down?
We can do that. So why don't we start with public comment?
So the first speaker this evening will be Don Vestal.
I speak from the chair, or do I need to go?
oh, you're gonna go up there.
Well, no.
My question is,
So just for point of order, you have to say your name
well, my
and
name
your
is Don
address.
Westall, I live at 370 on Hillcrest.
Thank you. Sorry. We just have to have it for the minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. My question is, why, after 2.5 decades, are we being enjoined to help mitigate the price of taking care of this special assessment, special services assessment? What happened in the last 24 years that we weren't enjoying in this, and all of a sudden we are, and for what reason are we? And we had Arch Street done, Hillcrest was done in, I think, 1999, because it flooded all the time. I think Highlands was done just a few years ago.
Yeah,
But
that was-
we're all,
that
our
was-
two streets and the people above us in the 200 block, their water was running down by us, which flooded out on both streets. And we finally got that taken care of.
Mhm.
In fact, when I first moved here in 86, my backyard would flood.
Yeah.
And then they came through and they put drainage tiles all the way to Centennial from Warner all the way, and we never really had a problem after that. Then the street used to flood, because my neighbor down there was, her garage was underwater every time it rained. But, I just wanna know what the reason is, because it scared everybody looking at that ordinance saying 80 cents per hundred,
Right,
and we're only at 8, right?
Yes.
So.
yeah.
So now those two construction, especially, when they ran all that new sewer line to alleviate the flooding, it's now all tied into White Oak, where before it wasn't.
Yeah, but mine was done where there was no white oak. That was 20-something years ago, and theirs was done in 20, which,
Well, they did an immense amount of work at the time to correct all of that.
yeah,
And they,
Yeah,
they, what the reason is why you ask is because right now it's an unfair situation in the fact that there's 181 homes that are paying to maintain those ponds, for lack of better terminology, to pay to maintain those ponds. But there are these other homes that are benefiting from the ponds because that's ultimately where the water goes.
Right.
And so you ask why now? Because it's unfair. And so what we're trying to do is make sure that everybody that is benefiting from said improvements are paying the fair share, because we've heard, you know, like you guys are here now tonight, understandably so, because you guys are being enjoined or proposed to be enjoined to something for improvements. Whereas we've heard nothing but for at least the last, it's really gotten loud since the 2020, that now that there are all these homes that are now benefiting from what these 181 homes are paying for. So there's both sides of the argument. So it's our job as the village board to represent all of the people on either side of the issue and try to figure out what the best solution is. And so right now, we're looking at a situation where there's 69 homes that are benefiting from the improvements that the 181 people are, and the 69 homes are not.
well, I understand that, but like I said,
But why?
20 years ago,
Exactly.
there was no white oak pine.
Right, but there is
So
now. and
there
that's
was
where all
no
the water
problem with
goes.
flooding, nobody had to pay a penny.
Well, there was problems with flooding back then. I mean, there
Well, I mean,
was.
the water went into the retention ponds over there, it was a pond area, it's forest over there, that's what it was.
Mhm.
So we didn't have a problem with, we had to pay extra for our streets to get fixed, stuff like that, but we didn't have to pay for anybody's, how many streets are over there in White Oak Pine? Well, all them people are back flooding back into those pines.
Right,
And they have 181, and we're talking about 69.
Right.
So there's 3 times as many as we have.
right,
That's my point.
understood.
The next speaker is Sally Solon.
Hi, Sally Solon.
Good evening.
335 Hillcrest.
Thank you.
I was the reason Hillcrest got done. Moved in. 6 months after I moved in, I lost most of my stuff. And my house. Thank God for neighbors. The end of the street was a dead end, so White Oak wasn't there.
Mhm.
They went from a 6-inch drain pipe to a 36-inch. We have 3 drainage, okay? I will go back and find the reports, because I got all of them, from all their engineers, who obviously did not know what was going on. Because even after they fixed the street, did lose my house, backyard, a mess, still is. Drainage, we did our own drainage, so if that's the case, if I'm putting back into my taxes, the city of Hampshire should be putting in for all the work I had to do for my house, so I didn't lose my house, and with the engineer that I hired to make sure my house wouldn't sink, to get the water around my house versus into my house. So you gotta go back and look at whoever put in the White Oak subdivision and didn't see this coming. They're engineers. We did our part to maintain our homes, as I think some of the people here are still having issues, not as bad, but They need to look at their engineering. They need to go back to those builders. They need to go back to the people who put in. They didn't see that as a problem.
Respectfully, the issue is not because White Oak is there. The issue is because there's water coming, the water comes, and then the water has to flow somewhere. And so the village has done an immense amount of improvements in the land in 10 years to manage the outflow. To your point, White Oak Ponds wasn't there, it was a retention area. When that subdivision was put in, the ponds were designed to handle the water. And so that's why all that work was done, so that to give that water somewhere to go other than people's backyards. So
But
that's the
we're storing
subdivision.
Water in the backyard.
I
So
understood.
Obviously, like, people I know pay a lot of money for drainage around the
Understood.
house. And that's something that I know, and I don't have privy to that. I know that two of my neighbors got fined back in, I want to say, I don't know, they had to rip out their backyards. I don't know what they did. But they've gone through and looked at people's, yards and stuff.
It's challenging. It's challenging because this isn't new versus old, but it's the technology and that changes, right? So now now they've designed subdivisions with overland flow routes so that when the water, your house is built up on a mound per se, so that when you get a lot of water, the water actually, like, it floods in between the subdivision, between the houses, and then goes into the backyard and all that kind of stuff. That type of thing didn't exist in the older part of town. So we have these issues that we deal with at the village level and have been for a very, very long time. And trying to figure out, okay, technology didn't exist back then. There was no overland flow routes. There were small mains, this and that, poor design, if you will. And now how do we make it better for the people that live there? And so that's all the village has been trying to do for the last
I
several
understand,
years.
but where does it stop? Because it's got not, as they grow more and more, this is going to be happening not only to us, but others, but
So there's the laws in
Unfortunately-
place. There's laws in place that says when these subdivisions come in, if the water touches your property, like it has to be dealt with within that subdivision. As a matter of fact, King County just redid the ordinance probably 4 years ago. Then they upped the water retention responsibility for a subdivision or for any property by 30%.
so you're saying that people who are in older homes and older parts of the area aren't covered by that, and we're gonna,
No, what I'm saying is when a new subdivision comes in, the water that touches that subdivision has to stay within that subdivision. And that's what happens at White Oak. Now, if the water is not flowing out of the White Oak subdivision into your backyards. That's not what's happening. And we've spent countless dollars modeling, especially in that part of town, to prove that point.
I guess maybe then we need to go back and we should have been looking at this a little sooner instead of,
We don't disagree.
but what I'm saying is all of a sudden we're getting a letter going, well, we're gonna do this if you don't act on it. And I guess, like, when my house flooded, I got involved. I was at every meeting and I had to be the one generating it. And I got a lot of pushback. The city, their first thing was, they gave me 20 sandbags and said, here.
That
So how
sounds
do you-
like the stories we've heard. That sounds like, and I can't make excuses for that, but we're here now. We're trying to make it a better place, the best I can tell you.
So I did the math real quick. It's like $60 more a year on taxes possibly if you divide it out.
Depending on what the value of your house is, yes.
Right. Is there gonna be something in place that if it's $60 this year, it's not going to continue to grow as those subdivisions grow or those ponds get worse or they're not
Well,
maintained?
the subdivisions won't grow.
Well,
What gets dumped in there now is what gets dumped in there now. The question is, how fast,
how can you guarantee that? Is that in, and I guess I'm saying is,
because there's no room anymore.
Yeah, there's no,
Unless somebody builds in my backyard, there's no room over there to build anymore.
okay,
So as the village
so,
gets,
so
let me
that.
finish. As the village gets a handle on the weeds and all the crud that's in there and the noxious trees and whatnot, theoretically, the cost to maintain it should go down. And I'm part of it.
Okay. Now, and that, so that's not federal property. I see the little signs, this is federal, so it's not, it's,
we own and we own and maintain it. I haven't seen a federal property.
I have a federal one in my backyard and I checked with the feds and the DNR and everything else. and that sign is bogus. The village put it in as bogus. It has no jurisdiction.
I mean, I'm just saying, I haven't seen the federal one. I'm not saying that it's not true. What I'm saying is we maintain the property. We have several SSAs all over town. And it's our job to maintain it. And it's our job to mow. It's our job. We burn the ponds. We use chemicals if we have to. We cut down the cattails. We fix when it comes to actual the drain pipes and all that kind of stuff that goes. And that's what we used to do before Jay and Dave got involved heavily, is we used to farm all of that out. Jay's our village manager.
Or
And
look,
so-
or look the other way.
or not do it at all. And then we got to a certain extent where these houses were flooding. And then it was like, well, we didn't maintain the ponds like we should have, or the contractor was supposed to come out and do it or whatever. And they didn't, and we didn't follow up. And that's just the way that it was. But we have made a commitment, and we've proven this time and time again, that this stuff is important. We have to protect the people that live here. We have to protect their homes and all that kind of stuff. So like, in 2020, I forget the name of the family now, and I apologize, but they had the garage, it was referenced here in one of the public comments. The Mauer, yeah, right. And so when Toby and I were out there putting sand in sandbags, and we said, this is not the right way to do it. So
I did it for a year.
and so,
Every time it rained, I was out there
I
in the middle of the night.
And I'm not-
Didn't work.
and I
Go
promise
back.
we're not trying to discount it. And I can't make excuses for what happened. I can just tell you what we're
Right,
doing.
and that's, I said, but they have to go back. I don't know what the engineering, who they're using as their engineer. I'd go back and look at those engineers, because I don't think,
Well-
our street is falling apart anyway already. And it shouldn't be. If you look at it, it's, fully,
We've got a
but
5 or 6 year capital plan that we've been trying to get together, and we have together, and we're trying to stick to it. Try to improve the streets, try to improve the drainage, and this is all kind of part of it.
so is there a way to guarantee that this won't impact the longevity of all of a sudden, oh, it's gonna cost another this, it's gonna cost, and we're gonna add this? Is it gonna be in writing of, this is what we're looking at, this is how we're proposing it? And if it were to go up, it would be another, bring it to us as residents?
All I can tell you is the SSAs are part of the regular budgeting process. There's regular public hearings about the SSAs every single year about price increases and that kind of stuff. But we go through that every year during the budget process. If there's a raise in the SSA, we have to do another public hearing, right? Is that not true? And just to correct me, and so we
But
are
we just
very
got these letters then.
understood, but you weren't a part of the SSA. As being part of the SSA, we have regular meetings about it. You can go onto our website and look at the budget and we then and look at the multiple documents about the SSAs. Our trends, Lori, Ms. Lyons, please help me. We've typically trended down since we've really upped the maintenance and brought it in. There's been instances where we've had to raise the SSA because of maintenance that had not been done. But we're at the point where we're getting really close to the point of all of the maintenance being completed, and now we're maintaining.
And pretty much to that point now. We're at a maintenance level now.
So the only increase would be minimal, and it would be the cost of the chemicals. Like you spread that over a whole bunch of people, you're looking at $3-4 increase because the cost of the chemicals go up.
Every year you're talking about? I mean,
No. Because I do it for the park district. As you get a handle on it, your cost will maintain or slightly go down because you don't have such a big hit. Try and get it under control.
And trustee Coe, the other thing we've done is we brought that maintenance inside now, so our staff is doing the spraying and mowing. The only thing we have to farm out is the burning because we don't have the training. So that brought down the costs quite a bit as well. Over time, this cost should not go up. I mean, there's no guarantee that it won't. There could be some major event. But essentially what we're doing now is we're bringing Highland Avenue, which was improved in 2020, and all the other improvements that you just described, those are all being brought in as well. So our village engineer looked at the grade over there and which homes not benefit by the White Oak Ponds SSA. And those are the homes being added, the ones that benefit by those ponds.
And as the ponds get under control, the drainage will increase, meaning you won't hold water as long, if at all. Because it's got a place to go. with all the noxious trees and all the crud that they
Well,
took out of it.
we have our little drainage behind the house, so everybody's in the neighborhood already goes in there from
Right, and then,
behind us. and-
I sent all your neighbors a bill. If they're using your drain.
Everybody uses that drain, because that's.
Yeah. That's where it goes, and then from there, it goes, ultimately ends up going into the ponds. That's where ultimately all
So
those.
those are on Jake Lane, yes, behind us.
Right.
One more speaker, Mr.
So one more street behind us, that drain.
Well, no, I thought you said you were looking over on Hillcrest.
I am, but there is a drain behind us where like everyone's like, the houses around from him, I'll go back there because we are, like, my house is the lowest house on the block. But that house is on there, so where does that go? Where does that go?
Off the top of my head, I don't.
Pretty well.
Off the top of my head, I don't know. Mr. Paulson, I don't know if you have that information in front of
He
you.
probably does. Tim, can you,
Right here, go to White Oak.
Yeah, if you've got the exhibit, Lori. Are you talking about between Hillcrest and Highland? The drains in the backyards between Hillcrest and Highland either go
That's
to
not what I'm
Highland
talking about.
or
Jake,
Hillcrest.
Jake and
Jake.
Hillcrest and Jake.
No, go up a little bit. They're too far down.
Bear with us here.
I don't think that's on this exhibit. No, they go into a storm sewer that ties into Centennial
Okay.
and not into White Oak Ponds.
Fair enough.
If you're talking of the south side.
Yeah,
Guys, you guys are gonna have to not talk over each other because it's really hard for us to hear everything. We're trying to deviating from the process. We typically don't interact with public comment, but you guys are very passionate about it. So kind of help us out a little bit, please. Mr. Paulson, can you repeat what you just said?
What I was saying, if she's talking about storm sewer that's south in the rear yards on the south side of Hillcrest, that generally goes into, storm sewer in that neighborhood and into the storm sewer on Centennial. It does not go into White Oak Ponds. It's the storm sewer that goes down Hillcrest, has the direct outfall into White Oak Ponds, and the storm sewer that goes down Highland has a direct outfall into White Oak Ponds. And that's why those are the lots that are identified as benefiting from the White Oak Ponds detention basin.
Thank you, Mr. Paulson.
Okay. Well, then, I guess my question would be, am I gonna get taxed on all the water that goes into the one that's going to the other from a lot of our neighbors are low.
Are you,
So-
no, I'm kidding. I was gonna say, are you volunteering? No, no.
We have a steady stream that goes back to that, so we're using half and half for those people on that, because theirs all come down from the back. It's not 100% then.
No, as you see, everything that we do, we try to identify the best that we could do. Again, this isn't like a money grab for the village or anything. It's a matter of trying to be fair to the people that are paying into this. And that's really what this comes down to, and trying to right some of the wrongs, if you will, from how things have been.
Right. And I'm just hoping you're not using the same engineering company.
That I don't know.
well, it's turned over to Public Works, and I can tell you, the Public Works guys bust their butts back there to get a handle on stuff. They really
But I
do.
mean, that,
We take this very seriously. We try not to, we try to do as much as we can with the limited amount of funds that we have. And that's why we brought it all in-house. That's why we do all the training and the certifications and everything, and we try to,
I think
Hard
from what
enough.
I've heard from, we're just concerned that is this gonna, some people still get water and whatever, it's not gonna go away, we're low. We get-
right.
But is this long-term and is it gonna keep building? It's like,
So
Oh,
theoretically, if we do our job, then no. And that's the purpose of it. So that's our commitment to the residents, that we keep doing our job, so it stays low.
okay,
That's what this is.
okay, so if
And our
they,
track record has proven that. If
okay,
you look over the SSAs, over the budgeting process, they're all of it's on our website. If you want more information about what it is that we do, there's been in-depth presentations about the care and the burning and the noxious weeds and the cattails and all that stuff. It's all on our website and it's not a matter of us not wanting to.
I understand. I mean, but with everything, we've been through a lot in this neighborhood trying to get, I mean,
And it's hard not to be skeptical. I understand. I just ask that you give us a chance.
Sally, give somebody else a chance to talk.
Yeah, we have to keep.
well, no one else is on it, and I, so.
Well,
Okay. I got lots of phone numbers.
We have one more signed up to speak.
Okay.
Right.
Right?
5 minutes.
Who signed up to speak?
His name is Dan Rickard.
Dan Rickard, 323 Highland Avenue.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Yes, all right, where do I start here? All right. You say that we have been benefiting from other people's pain. I don't understand that at all. At all. Simply because it all has been draining down to the White Oak. And once White Oak fills, whether it's from notches, I appreciate the hard work that you guys have been doing. Once it fills, we're still lower. None of these people are near as low as we are. So when that's done, Highland and Hillcrest take. So we are not benefiting from anything. And it's still, Highland still floods. We just get lucky that it doesn't go into anyone's houses. Not benefiting. Is there any response for that? I would like to know how.
Well, I'd like, correct me if I'm wrong, but when White Oak, the pond filled, Tim, you could tell me, it drains, a portion of it drains out. It maintains a certain level, correct?
Yeah, drains out to Highland and Hillcrest.
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
Wilson,
That's a good, I know.
Yeah,
Hold
the basin has a controlled release rate through a restrictor structure that drains out over time. It's usually about if it was full, it would take about 5 days to drain down. So it limits the impact, until after the large storm events, and it does drain into a storm sewer on Centennial Drive.
but how did the water get there to begin with, Mr. Paulson?
How does the water get into White Oaks Pond?
Correct. In
Yeah,
this
it gets-
situation, so the resident in front of us is saying that he in no way benefits from White Oak Ponds. Can you explain to me if that's a true statement?
Yeah, I believe that they do benefit because the storm sewers on Highland Avenue, their discharge goes into the White Oaks Ponds detention basin. So it has a place to go, and then it leaves White Oak Ponds, through their outfall, as opposed to, that's why we did some recent improvements on Highland Avenue. We, one of the improvements was to increase the amount of water that is able to get into White Oaks Pond so that the storm sewer would not, because of some limited capacity, the storm sewer would not back up as much. So we're able to limit the amount of water in the streets would go into that one, down that one driveway that was the biggest concern.
So we did that in 2020, right, Mr. Paulson?
We did that one in 2020, correct?
Question.
No, I just wanted to get my date. Go ahead. Mr.
Okay, yes, the improvement. Where was the improvement? There was no improvement done down on Centennial. The improvement is the green right here. This is where it was done. So we just allowed more water to come from Panama and from the backyards over to in front of my house.
Yep.
But these drains, same size, little 10s. I believe they're 10s. Did I get that right? Yes, 10s, maybe 12s. But all we're allowing is more water here.
Yeah,
Highland Avenue.
he's pointed to the green line on Highland Avenue that connects the Highland and Hillcrest sewer lines.
The green to 15, huge, it's huge, which drains down to a smaller pipe, which goes all the way down to White Oaks. The only improvement was taking water from Panama's backyards over to Highland, adding more water to Highland Avenue.
Didn't we run a big sewer pipe down Highland?
No,
No, down Hillcrest.
Or Hillcrest?
Hillcrest
Wrong
Drive.
street, sorry.
That was 20 years ago, 25 years ago.
No, it's 5 years ago, 7 years ago.
Around 2000 guys. Everyone, this is, Tim, give me 1 second. This is,
Guys, let the attorney speak, please.
this is a process that's developed by law. The clerk is obliged to take notes. There's a recording of this. We have to do this. So if they're shouting or talking over one another, we cannot we can't have it. It just doesn't comply with the law. So I know this is a passionate issue. I understand that. And thank you all for coming out here, echoing what the president said. But we have to talk in an orderly fashion, one at a time. If you are referencing the screen, I will say one thing while I'm here. Please make sure you think about you're describing it on radio. And I apologize to put it that way, but you gotta be able to tell him what you're talking about, east to west or from left to right on there. I know that.
Okay, so I tried my best there.
No, you're doing.
I'm just more, I wasn't speaking to him.
And I
should've
know
been.
you're all passionate about this, but we gotta go one at a time. Okay? Thank you.
And thanks for bearing with us on this, because normally you get 3 minutes, that's it. And so
Okay.
we don't want to do that because there's not that many to speak and there's a lot of people here. So let's get it out. Let's have a good
Yeah, so I'm
conversation.
just asking questions and let people answer.
Sure.
So that was the only improvement on Highland. Right?
No, I thought there was more to it than that, Tim. When we did the improvements recently on Highland, didn't we do more?
Well, we did two things. One, we increased the capacity on the in that low spot. Right, if you're looking at the exhibit, right where it says Highland Avenue, the green pipe there, we increased the size of that to get water out of that more water out of that low spot so it wouldn't go over and down that one driveway that is low into that garage. The other thing we did was we added another outfall into White Oaks Ponds that is from just north of Highland. You see the blue pipe sticking into the pond. So what that did was Panama Avenue drains into a detention basin. It releases into Centennial Drive. One of the big issues we found with Highland was, Centennial Drive, that storm sewer gets filled and surcharges, and it doesn't allow the water from Highland to get in to Centennial into that storm sewer. And it was backing up and affecting the capacity. So what that other pipe did was take some of the pressure off of Centennial Drive so that there was more room for the storm sewer on Highland, more capacity for that storm sewer to drain.
Thank you, Tim. Then why is Panama not in on this?
And this panel,
In-law has its own SSA already.
They do.
yes.
How is it? And that is based on what we're doing here?
It's separate from White Oak Ponds, but
How long have they had that?
Yeah, I have to say that for Panama Avenue, that was established a long, long time ago.
She'd have to tell you.
She's gonna have to look
yeah,
up
I don't
the
know if
dates.
I have that, but I can look really.
That's why we talked about Mr. Rickard earlier is that there's SSAs all over town and there's a map that I don't know if I don't want to put Ms. Lyons on the spot, but we have a map of all the SSAs and a lot of them abut each other. They're just separated by different neighborhoods, different
Okay.
streets, different systems and that kind of stuff.
All right.
So just think like, and in this particular case, and I'm only referencing the case that you're asking. So why not Panama? Why are they not included in this? Because they're already paying for it. They're already part of one.
Okay.
You guys
I
are.
did not know that. That's why I'm asking these questions right here, right now. Oh, because I would have asked the same thing about with the map according to, and now I'm assuming that Jake already has an SSA also.
I believe so. I
Oh, you're
believe
gonna
that's
assume that
true.
they're
Yeah.
fairly
So,
newer houses.
so Kane County has a law. This isn't a village imposed law. Kane County has a law that says that any stormwater related improvements or maintenance has to be a part of an SSA. So it's different than like when the early 2000s, when there was SSAs that you would see that advertised in these new subdivisions says no SSAs. It's confusing because there's always an SSA for common maintenance, always an SSA according to Kane County ordinance. So any new subdivision, part of an SSA. Any new stormwater improvements typically is done as part of an SSA.
So how did the Highland improvement, where did that come from if there was no SSA for that?
So
Or is that just of
So-
the budget?
we had residents, we had a lot of flooding issues in that area. And so we
Okay.
did the best that we could do in the village to come up with the money out of the general fund to try to alleviate some of the flooding so that residents didn't lose their homes.
No, I appreciate that. But
And so, but the problem is now to fix it, we connected it to an area that other residents were paying for, all of the improvements. So the people that live in those homes are like, what the heck? Why are these people benefiting from the ponds and why are we the only ones paying for the maintenance?
Yeah, I'm on the fence on that, just, you added another line, but our line always went to White Oak. This like, not like you just added an extra line, it was kind of just a panel.
We can go back into history and
I know,
find out a lot of things
I
that
know.
should have been different.
Plus the Highland Avenue thing, it didn't help anybody. It just brought more water to
I would
Highland.
disagree,
But this is a whole other.
I would disagree with that because we went from,
The Moyers would certainly disagree.
yeah, I mean, the engineers and the Mowers and.
We're their
I mean,
neighbors.
I understand.
Yeah.
I was out there with sandbags too on Sunday morning, speaking to Mrs. Mauer.
Yes, listen, the public works were amazing during all those terrible storms and everything that was going on. Sandbags done, blocking off streets done. I make a call, they block it off. That, not my problem. Public works has been awesome, been great, all of that.
And we're just trying to support it.
All that extra water drains right in front of said house into the same line. So
We're trying to do the best that we can do.
that's probably why I'm having, and a lot of us here are having so much, anxiety about this because
I
it's
would,
not always the best that we can do is the best. that is being done.
trust me, if I would be in the same position.
All right, so I have, so I don't have these numbers, I don't know who all has SSAs, because according to the map, we're not the only two streets that,
Correct.
you know what I mean?
Correct. And there's SSAs in place all over town. And there's, like I said,
Okay.
right up on Panama, they're a part of an SSA. Down Jake, there's an SSA. Say again.
Elm,
Yeah, Old Mill Manor's an
Yeah, I
SSA.
think all of
Oh,
us are
here's the
in
map.
that.
Thank you, Ms. Lyons. If you turn
Yes.
around and look, Mr. Rickon. There's a map on the wall that shows exactly where the SSAs lie. They're all different colors. So if you see, there's very limited portions of town that aren't a part of SSAs.
orange is the, Panama. And then I'll
Okay,
kind of zoom out so you can see.
yeah, okay.
And this is an older map. We
Yeah,
have
this is not an
Over,
updated map.
over 30 of them.
We have over 30 SSAs at the current time.
There's the more of them.
Yes, great. Could you
Even
zoom in on
just
one?
for
Yes,
just
thank
for the
you.
knowledge of the residents here, even industrial or commercial properties, all are part of an SSA. And again, that's not a law or a rule that we set. The King County says that that's what we have to do.
Okay, so this is good. So
But yeah.
So looking at the board, I'm looking at the board. I see an orange block, Panama, who has SSA, and then all around there is all white. I'm assuming no SSA.
That's accurate.
Do I assume, I assume, okay. That is, Jake goes into Centennial, Centennial goes into White Oak. There's nothing but hill running down from half of the 200 block of Highland, Hillcrest, Panama. All of that goes to White Oak. I'm looking at all these blocks surrounding almost up to Panama. I guess I don't understand why just part of Hillcrest, the lower part of Hillcrest and the lower part of Highland are being SSA'd, and we're not opening this up to more people who are also benefiting from the White Oak.
Well, they're on a hill behind us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Everyone, I'm sorry to do this again, but the clerk's gonna have to take minutes of this by state law. I apologize. I try to be a very happy person, but I have to make sure that there's order so we can follow state statutes. So please, one at a time. I'm really sorry. And thank you for everything. No, you're great.
All right, so I would like to, if we look into the surrounding area, not just
And
those
that's
two streets.
And that's what we've been doing, is part of our capital improvement plan is going through with infrastructure and infrastructure improvements and all of that kind of stuff. This has been a kind of, I want to say a newish, the last 5 years or so.
We have two other areas in the village that still are at risk for flooding. We haven't had the 3-inch storms that we had back in 20.
Yeah.
We did have a couple of 1 inches in the last couple of weeks. So Park and Ren right around the corner here, that's a major problem. Where one house can get underwater, so that we do have funding for that for the federal grant. The last area is at Panama and State Street. That's low there. And the good news is we haven't had any real bad storms. And the other big one that we did was 872. If you remember those back in the day, we used to get 4 feet of water. And that's also. Yeah, so we're attacking the stormwater problems in town and we really only have one left.
Village manager, I believe that. I'm not looking to have the streets fixed. I'm not here to get the streets fixed. I'm just here to make sure that if I'm going to be SSA, if this is something we're going to do, it's not like Hillcrest and Highland right there. They're not the only ones.
Understood.
There's water coming from everywhere. The Panama thing is new. I did not know that. This map is great. Thank you for bringing that up. But Jake goes there. Hillcrest 200 goes there. Highland 200 goes there. Panama.
Well, that's one of the things that we're continuing. to
Okay.
look at. But I think if we decided that we were gonna have these conversations with the whole town all at once, we wouldn't be able to fit in this room. So
I came here to, I'm sorry, I came here to ask questions. I got a few answered and to raise questions.
And we appreciate that you're here. And we appreciate that you're all here and you're all concerned and understand what the history and the past has been. And that's what we're trying to do, is try to ensure that, you know, we're doing the right things.
Last question,
And everybody's fair.
the rate hike in the water bill has nothing to do with water runoff.
No,
Okay.
no. Unfortunately, again, that's one of these things. So think about
That's so
it.
stupid question.
So think about it as the water and sewer department are two separate businesses.
Okay.
And they need to be self-sustaining. And so all of the improvements that have to do with water mains, water sewer mains and that kind of stuff, and water treatment plants and water towers, those two funds have to be self-sustaining, and they were at a point where they were not.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if there's no other questions, could I have one more question?
I mean,
I'm done.
you signed up to speak already. So could you just do me a favor for the minutes purposes, just reference your name and your address?
Dominic Festo, 370 Hillcrest.
Yes.
I'm under the impression, when Lori did the numbers, that I'd be paying $53 more a year for tax. Now, what he was just talking about the capital improvements, that's an extra 50 on my bill every month.
Mhm.
So everybody in this room is already contributing to
Water,
contributing to White Oak.
Water-
Contribute.
water and water, drinking water and wastewater sewers, not stormwater runoff.
Well, capital improvements, capital improvement. You could put the money wherever you want to.
No, actually, we can't.
No, actually, we can't. By law, we cannot.
Either way, the capital improvements, everybody in this room is contributing to it.
You're right.
Everybody on the board.
Even everybody up here. And it's unfortunate.
Most likely, you know,
No, I know that. What I'm saying is, unfortunately, we have boxes that we have to live in. And we have to try to do the best, make the best decision that we can with all of the independent boxes that we have to deal with.
And I'm under the impression too, if we get 51% of the signatures on both of those blocks, 69, this doesn't go through.
Is that,
Yeah, so the,
We get a petition that we do not want to go into this SSA.
Okay.
51%.
I would like the attorney to address that, please.
so you are correct that 51% of the affected parties, voters, can sign a petition and stop the process.
Okay.
So this is established by state law. And that state law allows for hearings, and it allows for an objection period that results in, or the filing of a petition consent to object to this matter. And that is, it's honestly, if you go to the Illinois General Assembly's website, the law is set forth in there. So we always try to be transparent. It's literally right there, plain as day. And yeah, it's handled that way, and it just has to be petition signatures, just like you would if you were running for office.
What happens if you get 180 that are already paying on a petition?
The state law says that the affected parties are the ones that are subject to the petition requirement.
Because they're being added later.
Correct.
When it was created originally, nobody has an objection.
And the law, like practice, can't look back in time. If I could go back in time, my first stop wouldn't be the SSA's in Hampshire, right? We would go back in time and do other things. But we can only go forward. We can only go forward from July the 17th forward.
Trustee Fodor had a question for Finance Director Owens.
Just to answer a couple of the other questions and concerns that I'm hearing, we've looked at SSAs multiple times and you've given us big presentations with multiple. Can you give me, an example of at least one or two that we have reduced the SSA, rate at which we were taxing people? Because I know we have done that. Is it abatement? Is that what it's called?
No.
Or what is it?
So we abate when there's like a given dollar amount that's required.
Okay.
And then you can abate a portion of that.
Right.
So in this case, we just levy for the amount required to maintain.
Okay.
I don't really have those statistics, in front of me, but if you give me a few minutes,
We could do that. You're not voting for 2 months after this public hearing, so we can provide you that information.
Okay, and it's more for, everybody here that I know that we have done that. We have lowered the rates when we did not need.
Yeah, a lot of the SSAs are in really bad shape. A lot of times when we've done a lot of maintenance on
Yeah.
that, so that there's no question that the rates are going down.
Right.
The levies are going down.
Yes, we have done that for multiple areas. I don't believe mine has yet, but that's because my house is only 20-something years old, so it hasn't been enough time yet for it to get to that. It's always more expensive in the beginning, and then it kind of levels out as long as the maintenance is being done.
I would like to ask if any other board members or you have any other questions for staff or public? I would like to thank the public and the attorney for allowing this to go the way that it has, because again, the state dictates how we're supposed to do public comment. We did deviate a little bit from that. But I hope that everybody had an opportunity to have their questions answered. Again, we're not voting on this for a couple of months. Please reach out to us individually, myself, Mr. Hedges. We'd love to answer any questions that you guys have.
Now?
I can't inside this public hearing because you're not signed up to speak.
Mr. Mayor, what I would say is if any residents would like to come in and sit down and meet with us, we're happy to do that. You can pick up one of my business cards on the way out. We'll arrange for group meetings.
I'm happy to speak.
We've already met with several residents have come in and already met with us.
I'm happy to speak with you after the board meeting tonight. I'm happy to. All right, can I take a motion I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing at this time. Questions, comments? Ms. Clerk?
Real quick, because, we were waiting for some information from our finance director. Is she giving that now or?
She was gonna give that.
She was getting the map.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I just didn't want to close the hearing if there was still more data coming. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? Mr. Clerk, can you call roll, please?
Mr. Coe,
Aye.
Ms. Palastrellini,
Aye.
Ms. Fodor,
Aye.
Ms. Charter
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Okay, for the public that is here, the public is here, we're talking about a lease agreement with MediaCom, a resolution with a fiber company, performance bond for a pet egg project, buying a forklift, and talking about a public works garage. So if you're not interested in hearing about that, now's the time to leave. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you
very much.
Thank you. It's allowed to make the exit.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for letting me talk again.
Great job.
Well, I appreciate you guys coming in. Thank you for coming. Paying for the whole meeting?
No, I just can't. No, I think, well, thank you. I got it. See you ladies.
I do love it. Very interesting. We're gonna only meet every time with much. Oh, okay.
Mr. Mayor.
With that, Mr. Mayor,
And there are five.
excuse me, gentlemen. With that, Mr. Mayor, we would ask your consideration of an ordinance approving a lease agreement with MediaCom for the property of 350 Mill Drive. No, editing. Mr. Khan is on TV. If you look, if you have any questions.
Don't close that all the way, please. All right. Okay, so
Mo, would you like to describe this lease briefly? They're in your packet, excuse me, on page 10 are the, and I also asked Paul for the revenue generated. Mo, could you explain this lease?
Yeah, so good evening, board. I apologize, I'm not there in person. MediaCom has a utility shed at the 350 Mill Avenue property. It has some equipment for MediaCom so they can provide cable and phone service throughout the village. The previous lease expired on March 31st. So this is kind of going retroactive back to April 1st and approving this lease from April 1st, 2025 for a 10-year term ending March 31st, 2035. On page 2 or page 12 of your packet, there is a rent schedule that MediaCom will be paying. It increases from $4,916 for the first year all the way to $6,414. There is also a one-time lease renewal fee of $750 that MediaCom will pay the village. This utility shed has been here, has not been affecting operations of village property, so we thought it'd be a good idea to re-up the lease and collect some funds.
Mo's done a nice job of negotiating a higher rate too.
I appreciate your efforts. Does anyone have any questions about the lease agreement?
I do. I understand now you've answered a couple of those questions so that there was a lease in existence. I couldn't tell if there was. It starts April 1st and I understand now which I didn't know, that we're continuing a lease, but it's kind of a weird time to start it since I thought we would end a fiscal year type of a thing.
It expired March 31.
That's what I didn't know that. That's why I said that was kind of news to me at that point then. So just curious, but this has been going on for how many years?
This is the third renewal. I believe the first lease was for 5 years, and then the second lease was for 10 years, and this will be the third lease or the second renewal, which will also be for 10 years.
I'm not.
It's been there forever.
I'm not doubting that you're right. I just don't ever remember talking about the fact that they had a shed over there.
That's what I thought. It's been there all this time.
I'm sure you're right.
I'm sure. It's been 10 years since we talked.
Yeah.
Here.
No, it'll be 10 more before we have to talk about it again.
Does anyone have any other questions?
One more question then on page 3, or 13 for the packet. Number 8 is assignment. And it says this agreement may be assigned by either party with prior written notice at least 90 days to the party. Who would be a potential assignee? I mean, if we were no longer doing MediaCom at this
Yeah,
point?
so like if MediaCom gets bought out,
And they
which
get-
happens,
Okay,
so they would just keep the lease in place.
okay. I just didn't want them to be able to kind of pick anybody else and just.
No, it's understood based on the
Okay.
language in this, and I can tell that it's based on that MediaCom is the lessee, so if another company assumes them, then they would assume responsibility for it.
So it's just that. Okay, it's not like I'm gonna pick another utility.
Right.
Okay, all right. That was my only question on that. Thanks.
And if they do something like that, they get 90 days and they're out.
Yes.
All right, I'll entertain a motion approving a lease agreement with MediaCom.
So moved.
Second.
Questions, comments, concerns? Ms. Clerk, can you call roll, please?
Palastrellini.
Aye.
Fodor. Aye. Sternberg. Aye. Mr. Coe.
Aye.
Yes, 4-0.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
was
With
a
that,
lot of fun.
with that, Mr. Mayor, I'd ask your resolution. Consideration of a resolution approving a contract with Midwest Fiber Networks in the amount not to exceed $48,320. You have an agenda supplement in your packet from Doug Chupan on page 31. And this is for basically for Wi-Fi for the next 5 years for the police department. Heard about a lot of upgrades with all of the new technology, and we need faster Wi-Fi.
So can I just add some color to this? So since I've been a part of this board, the police department, even though it's right in the middle of a industrial park, has been on an island, and the internet's never fast enough. And now with body cams and all this other stuff, they need fast. And so typically what happens is that when you partner with a company and you get fiber, dedicated symmetrical fiber, I know that I'm geeking out, right? But dedicated symmetrical fiber is a big deal. because it's the same up and same down and nobody else is on the fiber strand, whereas if in your house, you're sharing with your neighbors, even if there's a line that runs into your house.
It's basically a private road.
Yeah, and so this is a big deal and it'll really help the operations over there. Does anyone have any questions with that?
What is the current that we're paying?
About 270 a month roughly.
So like mapping the whole thing out, we've got, it's kind of like apples to oranges, that's fine.
100%.
One is 5 years, one is 3 years, one is 48, 320, the other's 38. And believe, I absolutely agree with, if you look through and this is the one that's best, I support that. But just curious as to what we're paying now. I mean, because I can't even tell monthly because there's
So
other
monthly, if
added
you look at-
fees monthly.
If you look on page 31 of 74, the actual monthly cost for Midwest Fiber Networks is $770 a month after May of 2026. So what they've agreed to do right now, we're at about $250 a month with our current provider, and because of the budget cycle, Midwest Fiber has agreed to give us a discount for the first until our fiscal year renews. And so we will pay about what we're paying. We would pay $270 a month until the end of this fiscal year. And then starting May 1st of 2026, it would go to $770 a month. So when you're comparing these two quotes, what I would direct you to for the basic comparison would be $770 a month for fiber networks, Midwest Fiber Networks, and $968 a month for Comcast for the same service.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I did the total cost of both contracts because they're contracts and they're, you know, in the big benefit with Midwest Fiber, the two big benefits. One is it's $200 a month cheaper over the life of the contract. And the second is that because we're getting a 5-year contract, and the cost would go up if I reduce the term of the Midwest Fiber contract, but because we're locking in for that total of 5 years, then we're locking in that price also. And I do know it's a competitive price compared to, you know, I know even 5 years ago, Comcast at a different place that I worked was $800 a month.
And
for
I
fiber-
trust
for
you,
fiber.
Chief.
So
It's
770 is a really good price.
and
for
770, 968 was the other one. And what are we paying today?
About 250.
250.
There you go, 259.
Yeah, but we're getting
Okay.
basically residential.
Residential.
And I know it's gonna go up and it's more powerful, et cetera. I was just curious as to what the difference is.
Does Midwest Fiber have any kind of fine for not achieving the 500 we intend to pay for?
I would imagine that's a service level agreement thing, and I can't speak to what their service level agreement is, but yes, because we're signing a contract with them, they have to honor that.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have no question with dedicated fiber getting fiber. That's not gonna be an issue. If it is, then.
That's AT&T tells me all the time. Don't worry about it.
Honestly, the other big benefit that Chief is not talking about, coming from a guy that works with these guys, is anything not to sign a contract with Comcast. Good. Because Comcast business is awful to deal with.
I was originally turned off by the 5-year term, but then when I started thinking about it with with locking in that 770 a month for 5 years, honestly, I think is a good deal.
That's a great deal, because otherwise, if any shorter term than that, they'd be making you pay a lot higher installation fee. A lot higher.
May I ask what our speeds are here? in the
About
building?
300 a month. We have a new contract with Comcast.
I'm just asking speed.
Speed.
Oh, I'm sorry. 300 up.
2 cups
30
in the
down.
string.
300 up, 300 upload and 30 download.
Other way around.
Okay.
And what was the,
For at the PD, we're at about 30, 40 up.
in this building?
Probably
It's at 30 up and 300 down.
Yeah.
Which is that's the same speed as we have. We have the same contract rate as other people do. So, and really, it's the upload.
We don't need that much for.
Just just one piece of detail, super quick. The body cameras are uploading almost all the time. For the first like 5 hours, it takes a long time especially if they're busy. And so if I turn on a webcam right now, to have a meeting, it shuts down the internet.
Yeah, it's awful. Yeah, no, the upload speed for the police department is almost more important than the download speed.
Yeah.
Because of all the stuff.
Yes.
So it's a good move.
I have one other question, sir, with the contract then for maintenance and repairs on page 5. And it says, and just because we all deal with cable companies and, you know, internet companies, and it says that they're going to respond within 4 hours after receiving a report. And I think about all the technology that you have going there. Is that sufficient for you? It is fine? Okay.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes because it may come to a point, and staff doesn't know this yet, but it may come to a point where we may need to look at a backup internet connection for the police department. And it has failover and stuff like that, but we're not there yet.
Okay.
So, but it's gonna get to the point where they're gonna need to be connected all the time, to your point. But the other side of it is they all have cellular capabilities in their cars. So if they need to get out, like if they're working at the PD, then they can get in their car and get on their laptop. You know, like, so they're pretty good at managing.
So we have to put bathrooms in the cars.
Yeah, well, that's why they drink coffee out of cans. Okay. Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion approving a contract with Midwest Fiber.
So
Second.
Questions, comments? Ms.
Ms. Fodor,
aye.
Ms. General. Aye. Mr. Goldman,
Aye.
and Ms. Palastrellini.
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. With that, we would ask your consideration of a resolution approving a release of a performance guarantee bond for the PEDAC project at 180 Ryan Drive. You have an agenda supplement on page 54 for Mr. Paulson. This is pretty simple. This project's been done for several years. These are the public improvements that were completed then. And during an audit of our bond, we found that we still had a performance bond that we could return it up. So that's all we're doing.
Any questions? I'll entertain a motion approving the release of a performance bond.
So
Second.
Questions, comments? Ms. Clerk, can you call the roll,
Ms.
please?
Jennifer. Aye. Mr. Cole.
Aye.
Ms. Palastrellini.
Aye.
Ms. Fodor.
aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. With that, we would ask for consideration of a resolution approving the purchase of a forklift in the amount of $38,000. I believe $37,000 was budgeted in the budget. So we'll have to come up with $1,000 somewhere else, but and this was being purchased off of the Dorswell, so off the state contract.
Any questions? Entertain a motion to approve the purchase of forklift for $38,000.
So moved.
Questions, comments?
One quick one. How long till this is delivered? It's for the new building, but I know sometimes we have to do the contract now because it takes so long to deliver.
So they're holding this for us for, they put a temporary hold. There are 3, if you look at the document, there are 3, in stock in California currently. And so we wanted to snag this before, there were 0 available. We will be sending in the documents tomorrow and it'll get here when it gets here.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's good enough. I just wanted to make sure like it was with some of our plows. It's,
You're not talking about 10 months, it's just the transportation.
Yes, it's transportation because it isn't.
Can I ask what they're gonna use it for?
So in the new public works facility, there will be racks ahead of the parking spots for all the snow plows where they will be, hanging equipment. And then also there is a mezzanine, which I will be occupying as well as inventory such as, I'm just kidding about that.
Let's move our office over there.
There you go. But they'll be like lifting, let's say, skid loader tires that are in inventory up onto the mezzanine, level. So it'll be out for material standing.
Any other questions? Okay. I'll entertain, well, I have a first and a second. Ms. Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Cole.
Aye.
Ms. Palastrellini.
aye.
Ms. Fodor. Aye. Ms. General. Aye. Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. With that, we would ask for consideration, ask for a motion to approve a progress payment to Lamp Inc. in the amount of $642,774, for the Public Works Facility project. This is on page 66 of your agenda supplement. And the project is moving along wonderfully. If you haven't noticed, the walls are all up. The steel will be up next week. And it's been moving along right on schedule.
Can I ask what color it's gonna be? The outside?
It's like a brown and a tan.
It has a brick facing on the front.
It's not gonna look like it does now. Now it looks like an industrial building. It's not gonna stay there.
There are some renderings.
Can I have that officially referenced in the minutes? There? Trustee, we call me Sherlock. Any other questions? What was Sherlock's, yeah, does that make you want to?
Homes.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, a second, like now.
Drill a Barbie car.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the payment to Lamb.
So moved.
Second,
Questions, comments? Ms. Clerk, can you call the roll?
Ms. Palastrellini?
aye.
Ms. Fodor?
Aye.
Sternbro?
Aye.
Mr. Vogt?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Next,
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
thank you. Next, we have the building report and the engineering report. Mr. Paulson is online. Thank you for your participation in the public hearing today. If you have any questions about either report, please ask away.
I have a question.
Great.
Permits issued for June total. What are the rest of them besides new single family and townhome duplex?
Couple of decks and sheds and driveways and.
Mo, could you address that?
Okay.
Mo?
Yeah, hi. So yeah, a lot of fence permits and a lot of patio and shed permits were issued in June. And the summer months, that's kind of the time for that. So yeah, and there was a commercial remodel permit, if I remember correctly. And some like plumbing, solar as well. So just kind of a wide variety for the other numbers.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, we can move on to the accounts payable personnel in the amount of $147.88. Any questions? Entertain a motion to approve the accounts payable personnel in the amount of $147.88.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second,
Second. Third.
we'll let the clerk figure that out.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments? I think they just had that. Just clerk, can call the roll, please, when you figure out who first
Ms.
and second.
Fodor?
Aye.
Sternbro?
Aye.
Mr. Vogt?
Aye.
Palastrellini?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
Next, we have a small amount of $1,819,826.61. Any questions? I mean, it's only like 40 pages.
Page 4. Certified balance and scale. I'm assuming that's for the new truck scale. Is that it? We're gonna be doing, okay, sorry. Page 4, certified balance and scale. It's for equipment cleaning and calibration.
So they took something to the scale house.
We make our employees weigh in when they come to work every day. And it has to be accurate to report to the insurance.
Truck
And
stuff.
I broke it.
So,
Is there a section in here for golf cart fees?
I don't imagine that it's separated out by
Revenue. We have
just general revenue.
I'd like to see what we've.
I think we have, how many, I think 6 permits so
We
far?
collected
7.
seven times 150, Toby.
It's a lot of numbers for me to do right now.
That's the 50.
Okay, so, the certified balance and scale is, was an expense of the wastewater treatment for the sewer department, for equipment calibration and cleaning.
okay. I thought it was maybe for truck scale. Okay, all right, thank you.
I'd like to know what the prison meals are.
They were from McDonald's.
$18 at McDonald's.
Yep. Actually, asked that question myself Wednesday.
It was two breakfasts. That was it.
We had to buy for prison.
Oh, yeah, they prisoners.
They were there. all the time.
16.
Oh, I get it now.
Yeah,
I get it now. We actually had, we had guests.
they were there a long time.
We had guests.
From,
That's
5 o'clock in the morning till noon, so. Yeah.
It's nice that we bought lunch.
Breakfast.
And we had him detained since like 1 o'clock in the morning, so it was, yeah, it was.
Possibly alcohol related.
Actually not.
Really?
I was gonna say two.
I can fill you in off.
I bought breakfast burrito with hot sauce.
No, they don't have a toilet to sell. It's probably not gonna be.
Oh, well. Oh, well.
It's a messy situation.
Are we finished with that? Commissioner?
Any other questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve the regular accounts payable.
Second.
Questions, comments? Ms. Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Ms. General. Aye. Mr. Coe.
Aye.
Ms. Palastrellini.
Aye.
Ms. Fodor. Aye. Motion passes 4-0.
Mr. Khan, when's the next Business Development Commission meeting?
So the Business Development Commission meeting for July was canceled, just due to lack for attendance purposes. So we didn't have a quorum. We will be meeting August 16th.
Good enough for the
August
minutes.
13th. August 13th at 6:30 PM, and staff is working on a SWOT analysis for Route 72 to present to the BDC.
A what?
Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Yeah.
It's
Old buzzword.
it's a very, I thought the educators in the room would get it because we used to do it all the time when I was working for the school district. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, it was a big buzzword at 300 for a long time. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Khan. Any new business that the board would like to speak about? I have a flyer in front of you. WRN would like to do, or has, staff has approved the large group gathering plan for this event. WRMN will be taking over our downtown on the 20th of September in recognition of first responders. There's going to be live bands, music, food trucks, all that kind of stuff. There's an opportunity for us to kind of use the festival block for what it was intended. That being said, we're going to be also having a street dance tomorrow night. I probably will not be dancing, but it also depends on the amount of water I probably drink. So anyway, that's tomorrow night. So come and have fun. The chamber does a really great job with that. If the board doesn't have any other new business or other announcements, we will be going to an executive session, but it will be very short. Under section 2(1) for personnel. Any questions, comments? I'll entertain a motion to close regular session and go into executive.
So move. Second.
Questions, comments? Ms. Clerk, can you call the roll, please? You should.
Ms. General.
Aye.
Mr. Coe.
Aye.
Ms. Palastrellini.
Aye.
Ms. Fodor.
Aye.
All right. All right, let's clear the room and then we'll
Thank
go to
you for
executive.
coming.
Thank you so much for coming and being